Welcome back to What If Goku and Kakarot Were Separate People. Tomorrow I have a special What If plan, but for now we'll continue this series. So with all that being said, let's get to it. As it's been years since Kakarot's been on Earth, he's grown up into a man, has even trained Piccolo. Piccolo didn't like that he killed his father. However, he convinced him to train him, saying a true Demon King wouldn't care about his father. All he would want is power. Little did Kakarot know, Piccolo's trying to betray him, or that's what Piccolo thought, as Kakarot saw that ahead. As they were training, they were getting ready to go back and fight, but Kakarot had a plan. There's a reason he's been waiting on Earth. He has a hunch that his brother might come to save him one day, that will take him away to be a true Saiyan. That's all he ever wanted, was to be a true Saiyan warrior. And eventually that day would come. As Raditz would land on the planet, he would look for his two brothers. As he would sense a high power level, he would go over to it and see Piccolo and Kakarot. Well. Raditz would look at Kakarot and say, why is there still people here? Kakarot would say, why wipe them out when they're entertaining to fight, when they're entertaining to kill? Besides, I knew I was going to be alone here for a while, so why do your pathetic bidding when I'm just going to be here on this planet, a rock of emptiness? Raditz would look at him and say, so you're a bit of a rebel. Don't let the other Saiyans know that. Kakarot would smirk and say, other Saiyans? How many of us are left? Raditz would start to talk to Kakarot. As Piccolo would look at him, Raditz would say, who is this? Oh, just some nobody. Piccolo would say, nobody? What about our plan to kill your brother? Scratch that. I now have Raditz. I don't need your help anymore, green man. Raditz would then sense another power level with his scouter as they would both start to fly off. As Piccolo was stuck there, he would angrily yell out, traitor! As suddenly they would land. Kakarot would see Goku and his son, as he would smirk and say, looks like I'm an uncle, or should I say we are uncles. Raditz would say, fascinating, as he would hide behind Goku. And Goku already knew he was an alien, and Kakarot talked about his brother once coming to pick him up, so he knew what was going on. As then, Raditz would laugh, so that's the real reason why you didn't wipe out these humans. You wanted to breed with them. You're a horn dog. Kakarot would say, no, that's disgusting. Ugh, I don't share my brother's intimate relations with these things. Goku would say, don't you dare call my wife a thing. As Gohan began to shake, holding onto his father's legs, Kakarot began to walk forwards. As he said, we should take the kid, train him. Good idea. Goku would try to jump in the way, but Raditz would simply whack him with his tail, send him flying. As Kakarot would pick up Gohan and say, my nephew, things will definitely be interesting now. As he would start to fly off with the Raditz. As him and Raditz flew off with Gohan, Piccolo would show up and they would team up just like in canon as they flew down. Then Kakarot would look at them both. He was excited to join the Saiyans, who joined his destiny. As then Raditz would say, take care of the green one, I'll deal with my brother. He said, no, I think I got. Raditz would say, don't you dare question me. This would piss Kakarot off. Then he realized something. This whole time he wanted to join the Saiyans, but they would just yell at him, treat him like garbage. He didn't want that. He wanted to be strong on his own. He realized something, that this Saiyan life wasn't for him, and he wanted to make his own destiny. So then, Kakarot began to smirk. As then, he would simply fly away. Raditz would try to go after him, but then Goku and Piccolo would jump in the way, and the fight would continue like in canon. Kakarot didn't know what to do. He thought about just stealing Raditz's spaceship and going off. But if he did that, he would probably join the rest of the Saiyans, who would treat him just like Raditz. Kakarot wanted to have power. But it seems like no matter who he joined, he would always be below someone else. He wanted to be the one pulling all the strings. As he continued to think what to do, he couldn't find any answers, but then suddenly, Gohan would pop out of the space pod and begin to yell as he charged at Raditz, hitting him straight in the stomach. As then he fell to the floor unconscious. Things would continue like in canon, but that gave Kakarot an idea. As Goku grabbed onto Raditz, saying, do it! Suddenly, Kakarot would grab Gohan and say, interesting. It seems I have a new training partner, as then he would hide his power level and fly off. Piccolo would then shoot Goku with a special beam cannon, killing him and his brother. But as he looked, Gohan was gone. Kakarot took him. Kakarot wanted to have a disciple, someone to train, someone to mold, just like how he's been molded. and Gohan would be a good fit. Little did he know that the Saiyans were actually coming, and this would actually be good timing. As the day would pass, Gohan would wake up next to a campfire with a deer cooking. Kakarot would look at him and say, "Ah, seems you're finally up, my nephew." Gohan would say, "You're not my dad, are you?" "Well, what happened to him?" "He died, fighting Raditz. But don't worry, I'm not like him." Kakarot would decide to try to manipulate him, since he could just brutally train him, but he's decided maybe that wouldn't work, and he knew that Goku can get wished back with the Dragon Ball, so he needed to convert him fast. He would try to pretend to be his friend. Little did he know that this would affect him too. "I need to train you to get stronger. There's a threat coming. A threat that only you and I can face together." "Did your father ever talk about me?" Gohan look up and say, "Yeah, he did. He said he had a mean brother that let him live because deep down he cared about him. He would get angry, saying, on the inside, saying, 'I don't care about him. He's nothing but a weak, worthless runt of a Saiyan. I am a true Saiyan warrior. I'll show those other Saiyans.' He would say, 'Really though? Tell me more.' Gohan and Kakarot would continue to talk. They would talk all day. As the next day came, they would start their training. Kakarot was going to have to make Gohan stronger, and he knew how to do this. There's something called Zenkais. Kakarot would say, 'I'm sorry I have to do this, but do you know what a Zenkai is?' Gohan would look up and say, 'No, what's that?' Kakarot would say, 'Once a Saiyan is injured and that injured part heals, it becomes much stronger than it was originally, and your power increases tenfold.' As then Kakarot would pick up a Gohan and throw him to the ground. As Gohan began to cry, 'What was that for? You need a Zenkai boost.' Kakarot would start to beat up Gohan. As his ribs would shatter, tears would fill his eyes. But as he healed, he would become much stronger. And since he was a Saiyan, he healed faster too. It wasn't like Piccolo level of healing. It still took a couple days, but it was still faster than a normal human nonetheless. Kakarot and Gohan would start to train and push themselves more and more and more, as they both got stronger and stronger and stronger together. As the days passed and they trained, Kakarot actually started to grow a liking. He never grew a liking to anyone else because they always trained him and treated him like trash. But Gohan, he actually saw him as a person, and he would talk to him and say he wasn't the enemy, and little things like that. Kakarot was going to originally try to corrupt Gohan's mind, using a lie that enemies are coming stronger than him. But little did he know that that actually wasn't a lie, and Gohan was starting to rub off on him, even if he didn't want to admit it. Eventually, though, someone would start to talk to him. It was King Kai. As King Kai would start to talk to Kakarot, he would say, "Listen, I don't know your game, but the Saiyans are coming, and I have a feeling you didn't really know about that. You wanted to take them long before you knew that, didn't you?" Kakarot would say, "Who is this?" He would have a conversation with King Kai, and King Kai would tell him everything, and that he's been training for months, so he only had 2 more months to prepare. Kakarot would look at Gohan and say, "In 2 months, the Saiyans will arrive." Gohan would nod, say, "That's the threat? Yeah." As this time, Kakarot wasn't actually lying, and this time he would be prepared. Kakarot got a lot stronger, and he wouldn't need to join these pathetic Saiyans. After all, why would he join someone who's pathetic and lesser than him? He is the ultimate Saiyan. He is Kakarot, a true-blooded Saiyan warrior that will prove to the upper class that he's the best. But he's gonna need some help to do so. As him and Gohan would fly over to Piccolo, Piccolo would look over and say, "What do you want?" "I want you to help us by training, of course." Piccolo would smirk and say, "Why would I do that after you just abandoned me?" Kakarot would say, "I'm sorry." Piccolo was shocked. Kakarot's never said he's sorry for anything, and he actually sounded like he meant it. "You're sorry? Yeah. Don't get the wrong idea. I'm not turning soft or anything, but leaving you like that was a bad thing to do for a comrade. Besides, me, you, and the kid will wipe these Saiyans off the face of the earth, then we'll take over the world." Piccolo would then laugh. Even though Kakarot was putting on a strong face, deep down he was changing, even if he didn't want to admit it. Piccolo would nod, as they would all start to train together, pushing each other further and further. As all their power levels grew, all training together, suddenly, as the months passed, the Saiyans would arrive. Nappa would land on a city and blow it the hell up, and Vegeta would look around and smirk. Let's see how strong Kakarot really is. Let's see if he was worth recruiting after all. And that is going to leave things off. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think of this video so far in the comments below. I hope you really enjoyed this series. I know I am. And like I said, tomorrow I'm going to do a special tribute video, but it'll be a what if. So stay tuned for that. I think things will definitely be interesting. Yes, I did hear the news that Akira Toriyama died. It was very sad. And yeah. RIP. Anyway, love you all. Peace out.